Simplicity with dignity is the mission here at Central Cremation Center. I'm hanging out now with Tom Cantwell, co-founder, sponsoring our segment today. Tom, thanks for having us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the passing of a loved one, never an easy situation. How do you all help make that difficult process simpler for people?
Yeah, so we just make our arrangements shorter. The time frame is only about 20 to 30 minutes. We go over just the necessary paperwork and things in just a more simplistic manner. We don't speed through anything by any means, but we just do what is necessary in just a little bit of a quicker time frame for the family, so that way they're not sitting here for an unnecessary amount of time. They need to be handling things the way they deem necessary, not just sitting in here waiting on us to do our work. So we try to simplify it and just make things quicker for the family.
There are some unique circumstances that people may run across, whether that be budget or finances. You can also help make that simpler for families too.
Yeah, so we accept all forms of insurance as well as a form of payment, which a lot of folks in our industry don't do. So we do accept insurance. We work with everybody's unique situation. It's kind of one of our taglines. We realize that not everybody has the money up front to necessarily pay us for something like this, although our cost is substantially less. Still, you're talking $1,000 to $1,500, give or take. So if families can just put half of it down, make payments over the course of a few weeks, then we'll accept that. We have no problem with working with them. We realize that not, again, everybody can foot that big of a bill right away. So if we can help alleviate some stress during what is a very stressful time for them, then we'll do that for sure.
Does going the cremation route help alleviate some of that stress and some of that financial burden, because funerals are so expensive these days, any day really? Yeah,
so cremation is 65% of our industry right now, roughly, and that's what it is in Illinois. That's the national as well as Illinois' average. Some states are as high as 85%. The biggest reason for that increase is the cost. It is much less expensive to cremate. The second biggest reason is families are spread out more so now all over our country than ever before, arguably. So it gives families an opportunity to have a memorial service, celebration of life, things along those lines when it's convenient for them, not having to get the kids out of school, take off of work, rush in from out of state or whatever. So they can do it when it fits their time frame. So those are really the two biggest reasons as to why we got going as quickly as we did, but also for the cremation rate as a whole, why it is, substantially rising.
Well, and it must also be comforting for families to know everything happens right here in Forsyth at your location here from start to finish.
Yeah, so we realized really quickly, Jason and myself, when we got going, that it is very comforting for the families knowing that, okay, once their loved one passes, we pick them up from the home, from the hospital, nursing home, wherever the passing might occur. We bring them here to our facility in Forsyth. The cremation is performed here at our facility in Forsyth. So everything is done here under our roof. We don't farm anything out to a third party or anything like that. So it's comforting to know, that once they're here until they pick up the cremated remains once the process is completed.
You've got some options when it comes to remains and how that you preserve those and store them and keep them. We've got a few examples here. What seems to be the route most families go with? The traditional urn?
Yeah, so typically it's just an urn is what families typically will go with. There are a lot of different options, as you alluded to. There's eco-friendly options now. So one big option that we have, one that is catching on pretty regularly here in Central Illinois, is we actually have a biodegradable urn to where the loved one can be put into this urn with a seed packet and then a tree, a shrub, flowers, whatever can be used as kind of a fertilizer, if you will, for said tree. So that's one thing that really has kind of picked up some steam here over the last year or 2 years. But there's just thousands of options with cremation, which is kind of the third reason as to why cremation is on the rise. But traditionally, folks just go with some sort of urn or some sort of memorialization options. But jewelry is really big right now, and so on. So it just depends.
Do you encourage people to do the pre-planning?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that would take a lot of stress off of families.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it takes a lot of stress off at the time, knowing that everything is taken care of, at least the paperwork. We do a lot of what we call terminal pre-need, so folks that are on hospice, they at least get the paperwork done ahead of time. The payment and things we can take care of later. We always tell them, if you got it now to take care of it, great. We'll, obviously hold the money in our pre-need trust fund. But if you don't, that's okay. At least let's get the paperwork done and taken care of, and that makes it easier for the next of kin or for the family members at that time.
There's a new service that you're looking to begin offering here at the end of July, pet cremation. What made you all decide to add that into the services you have?
Yeah, so Central Cremation Center Pet Services will be operational here at the very end of this month, the very end of July, July 29th. And it's just something that we have gotten calls from since we've started. People just assume that we did pet cremation. It's something that we wanted to do out of the gate, but we got so busy with the human population that we weren't able to focus on it. Well, now we have our processes in place. We're rolling right along. So Jason and I thought, okay, now's the time to move into that industry. Pets are part of the family. We definitely realize that. I've lost pets myself, unfortunately. I think most people have. So it's just a way to honor them as well as part of the family and be a full service provider. So, yep.
You have over 15 years of experience here in business.
Yep.
What does it mean to be a locally owned business here in our town, Forsyth?
Yeah, so we love it here in Forsyth. I live in Forsyth. I'm on the Planning and Zoning Commission here too in Forsyth. Our kids are involved in all the sports, and my wife and I are readily involved with everything. So we love it here, and then to have a business here as well just means the world. It took a little bit to kind of get going, get approved, get in the spot, and so on. But once we got going, we've been readily accepted, and it's been awesome. Here we really enjoy living here in this community and having a business contribute to the commerce here in the community as well.
Yeah, very good. Well, we appreciate you having us and learning a little bit more about the services that they do have here at Central Cremation Center. And if you want to learn more, maybe you want to get in on that pre-planning, then we will connect you with them over at ciLiving.tv after today's show. And we do appreciate them sponsoring our segment today.